From the University of Maryland's Robert H. Smith School of Business, this is the Smith Report, Summer Edition. I'm Ken White. Thanks for listening. Every Friday this summer, the Smith Report will feature a conversation with a Smith School student who's currently working as an intern. Our 8-minute podcast this week features Frank Ferramosca. Frank will be a senior when he returns to school next month. After spending part of his internship in Oslo, Norway, Frank's back home in New York City, interning for KPMG. We spoke to Frank by phone Wednesday morning. So Frank, you're actually at home now, right? You're in New York City.
Yep, just got back a few days ago from Norway.
And tell us about Norway. Where were you? What did you do? And what was that experience all about?
I was given the opportunity to participate in KPMG's global internship program. So I chose to spend 4 weeks, or half of my internship, with KPMG in Oslo, Norway. I went through their audit practice in financial services, and then I was even lucky enough to work with their advisory team also, and was able to. The final project was a presentation about a potential merger. So that was really interesting to work on.
How many other interns were with you?
There was one other intern from California with me. I was the only New York representative, and then there were 2 Norwegian interns as well.
And now what's unique about your experience, that you've spent, as you said, a month in Oslo, and now you're in New York. How did this all happen? Because you are one of a very select few to have this opportunity. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, last year I was lucky enough to go to Los Angeles with KPMG, and only about 100 kids got to go from across the U.S., and there I was exposed to the global internship program, which I then applied to. As I mentioned, only 18 students of the 1,000 or so interns got selected to participate in this program, and only 2 go to each country. I'm from New York, so I wanted to work in the Manhattan office, and I could have chosen Ireland or London or New Zealand or South Africa, but I thought Norway was a really interesting choice with their oil wealth and their high cost of living, and I was really interested with how high their taxes are at 65%, so it was a pretty unconventional choice, but it was a wonderful experience. And now when they go on vacation in July, I'm back in the office in New York, and I'm putting to work all of these new trains of thought I've come across and a little bit of exposure to IFRS, and hopefully I'll be able to bring that to KPMG in New York.
It sounds like a fantastic experience, and Oslo sounds perfect.
Yeah.
It sounds like lots of lessons learned when you're there. So their economy sounds incredibly different from what we deal with day to day here domestically, right?
Yeah. It's actually the most expensive country to live in, or they have the highest cost of living in the world. So it's pretty difficult going there and realizing I just spent $20 on a 6-inch Subway sub that should be a $5 footlong. But you make the adjustments, and you learn to live a different way, and you learn to fit in with that culture.
Yeah, no one sent them a memo telling you were a poor intern, did they?
Yeah, exactly. I wish I would have been paid on the Norwegian salary.
Yeah. So what's up now for you? You're in New York, as you said, and you've got some weeks ahead of you. What will you be working on?
Yeah. In Norway, I was able to work in financial services, so I got to work on 2 of their largest financial clients. So I was on a holding company called Aker ASA. They're very into the shipping region with loans, and I also got to work on their biggest bank in Scandinavia, Nordea. And I even got to spend some time on GE Capital, which is out of the Stockholm office in Sweden. So right now I'm in the transition phase with 250 interns in the New York office. It's really tough to keep track of everyone. But hopefully I was told I could work on GE Capital a little bit more. But I'm in the Metro division in New York, so that means I'm actually not going to be working on many financial clients because I've had the exposure in finance in Norway, and now I wanted to see a little bit of the commercial and retail side in New York and see which one I like better.
So what has this meant for you and taught you as far as experience in your career? I mean, do you think this is where you want to go, this sector?
Yeah, it's unbelievable to think of the things that I've been able to do at Maryland as an undergrad. I've been able to go to Singapore and Malaysia for a study abroad over the winter, and I've been able to go to the United Arab Emirates, Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and now I spent a month in Norway. So the opportunities seem endless right now from my Maryland education, and with KPMG, I could seems like I could go anywhere I want. And, having this kind of international experience, even though it's not much, being able to have a different outlook on the world and the global business environment, I think is really going to help my career as I start out.
Oh, no question. Do you have any specific goals career-wise?
I'd love to maybe spend a rotation internationally and, bring everything back to the U.S. that I learned. So love to get my CPA. And being in New York, I think finance is maybe where I want to be after working on these big shipping companies and their financial sectors in Norway. And you never know, maybe Norway I'll end up in, or somewhere else for a 2-year rotation if given the opportunity.
It sounds to me like you have made all the right moves during your stay here at the university and at the Smith School. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's entering the university and the Smith School of Business?
Yeah. I came into school, I never left the country. Freshman, if someone would have told me that I was going to go to the Middle East to study, I would have laughed in their face. So I think just you really have to be open to all of these opportunities that Maryland presents to you. And I know as a freshman myself, I went to all of the accounting career fairs and every kind of career fair you can imagine with a high school resume, and the guys laughed in my face. That only fueled my passion to get these internships more. And they remembered me as the kid who came out the first week as a freshman with this high school resume. So I've really been pushing my whole time at Maryland for these internships and networking, and best advice I give is just to submerge yourself in the culture at school and get involved in the student events, sports. Maryland has such great pride in the Smith School as well, and just join some clubs, meet new people. Don't be afraid to speak to the faculty, and definitely take advantage of these maybe short-term study abroad programs. It was hard for me trying to get 150 credits and study a full semester abroad, but I was able to take advantage of these, short-term assignments, and I've had great internships, and I've had unbelievable experience, and I think I've really established a great network.
Yeah, it sounds like there's no question. Every move you made has been a good one. Congratulations, and thanks for talking with us today, and good luck the rest of the way in your internship. Sounds like I said, you're in the right place at the right time. That's fantastic to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.
That's our conversation with Smith School rising senior Frank Ferramosca, who's having a great internship experience in Oslo, Norway, and now New York City with KPMG. We thank Frank for his time, and we invite you to listen to our podcast next Friday when we catch up with another student intern from the University of Maryland's Robert H. Smith School of Business. Thanks for listening. I'm Ken White. Have a great weekend.